It's a cold February evening in Cleveland, Ohio, and there's nothing better, nothing else that I'd rather be doing than going through an onboarding call. As part of my case study with my client, I'm going to talk you through what we discussed on the onboarding call and go through some actions that come off the back of that. Really excited to get into this. This isn't necessarily a huge SEO play for us. The onboarding call is more to understand about what the business does, their financials, a bit of sales data, go through the product in a bit more detail, just so I can understand how I can help them more and literally what their goals are. I don't want to be running off two separate scripts here between me and them. So it's really important to get it right. A lot of people do onboarding in different ways. Some people do a month of onboarding. I have a document I send over and ask them to fill out, or I'll fill it out on the onboarding call, and then I'll just run through and test a couple of things on the website. So without further ado, let me share my screen here and we can get going. So this is what the document looks like, and I filled out certain bits here. Some of these won't be applicable. As I discussed before, this is a very small client we're talking about. So first of all, product. We want to test the product. Ideally, maybe get a physical product. I got them to send me over what the product looks like. In this instance, an educational comic. It's very cool, by the way. Lovely idea. So we want to do a case study, have a look at a case study, just like a walkthrough of how a customer would go to the website and interact with a product. So here we are on the website itself. And the first thing that I noticed is that the header here isn't super descriptive. Like I'd assume you go to shop to buy stuff, but it's not really telling us about like what's going on here with the products, the different kinds of products. So that's the first thing. I clicked on shop. We get to the shop page here, and this is all the products straight away. We're just seeing all the products here. Now I'm looking at the filters on the side, and there's no way to click these filters. So that'll be the first thing I want to have a look at, is how can we get these filters actually to display certain types of products, for instance, earth and space science products only. Because at the moment, the only filter is by price, and it's $0 to $10. And most of these are the same, well, not the same, but they're all within a very limited price range. So I wouldn't even say price is a filter that's needed here. You more want to filter by subjects. That's something we can look at as well if we need to add age groups to filters. Just some stuff that could be potential blockers here for the customer journey. So that was kind of the first thing I noticed when I went on there. If we go back to the actual products themselves, I'll click into it. What might not be evident, well, I should say what was not evident to me, is that this product is actually a digital download. We can't really tell that from this. They might be thinking, the customer, that they have to pay for this and get a physical copy through the mail or something. So I think just shouting out somewhere that this is a digital download that you'll get via email when you buy it is going to be useful as well. Again, I'm just looking at stuff that could be potential blockers. The website is doing about $84 monthly in sales, which isn't bad, but I feel like it should be doing more for the traffic it's getting. So I do think there are some conversion blockers here that we're going to go through. So added to the cart. Let's just have a look at the cart here. Pretty standard looking cart. Proceed to checkout. Yeah, all looks good here. Nothing too wrong. Pretty simple once you get to this part to place the order. One thing I did notice, some of the text is pretty small on the website as well. That might just be a quick one we can edit. Go into the CSS and just make some of the text bigger. I mean, again here, the header seems to have changed slightly, so I can't actually make out the top navigation or the search bar. So there's a couple of design elements here. Hopefully should be quick and easy cleanups. Again, this is what I actually run through with the client on the onboarding, so they can see me kind of going through it. As a newbie, you can get a bit blind if you're just working on the same site all the time. So I like to think my opinion is kind of valuable. Although maybe a bit too big-headed of me there, but certainly a new, fresh set of eyes is always helpful. So yeah, those are the three main points there. I think we need to fix the categories filtering. Customers should be made aware it's a digital download, and text can be bigger across the board. We go on to sales. So I was able to get access to WooCommerce, their data, and just had a look at current sales. So annually, just over $1,000 there, and monthly it's about 84. Busy period, I could see that it's kind of a small spike before school starts, relatively steady all year round. So seasonality isn't really going to be a big factor here. It could be we don't have that much data to go off, but yeah, just a nice idea to get a look at what they're doing currently. And this also will help feed into my projections when I go through keywords and say, yeah, we can turn this 84 into 200 a month. Other things to look at, and by the way, give me a shout if you want a link to this doc, or just copy the doc. I mean, I've had it on the screen for a while now. You might just be copying it. I think it's kind of a valuable asset that I've put together here. Going over a couple more things on sales, lifetime value of customer. They didn't know that, what that was. So that's fine. Very small business. Area you most want to improve. I mean, they just want to improve across the board. But again, you can really narrow it down. And that's a really key part of going through this kind of stuff with customers and businesses. You might think with your SEO keywords and infinite knowledge, this is what you should be targeting. Whereas they'll be like, no, like we don't actually do much business there. You need to be targeting these keywords. So these are important conversations you need to have. Again, that's not a conversation I had this time, but it's on the sheet, basically just to remind me if I need to use it in future. Sales funnel, current user journey. So that's kind of something we've been through. Came up with a few blockers there for the product. So yep, that was all good. And then the last thing on some of the onboarding notes is contacts, when to meet, sign-off process, who needs to be signing off on content, how that's going to be done, how it's going to be managed, points of contact. If you need to be set up on a client's Asana or Jira, Trello, or whatever, or if they need to come into yours, just kind of admin stuff like that. I do want to go over the sales a little bit more detail here. So a couple more of the action items to come out of the audit. We need to see here where the sales are coming from. So if I'm going last 12 months, I'm just looking at landing pages, how people have got to the site. At the moment, I don't have e-commerce tracking set up. You can see here, total revenue is a big fat 0. So this needs to be improved. We need to see how many people are landing on this and how many people are buying this from Google Analytics. It's not the single source of truth, and it's arguably getting worse these days, Google Analytics, but there needs to be some kind of tracking set up here. We can't just be going blind into seeing what products are maybe getting sales. So as we can see here, like decent traffic. I'm surprised the website's not doing more sales, and I think that's something I really need to target before I start SEO work on this. Is just some UX stuff to clean up, maybe some design stuff to clean up, and let's start with a good base, a solid foundation. And the other thing you'll probably notice here, interestingly, the tracking has totally fallen off on Google Analytics since December, so a good 2 months without data now. Likely this is an issue with the Google tag. So we're going to data streams here, no data received, obviously, data collection isn't available. Hopefully this is an easy fix with the tag. For whatever reason, it's just stopped collecting data. This is something I need to look into, and obviously something I'm going to fix. So straight away from the onboarding, jumping on the analytics with the client, going through the product journey with the client, I've got a good few action items to be getting on with before the SEO work even starts. This is good for me because it keeps me busy, gives me more work, more billable hours, but it's also just good for them to clean everything up. Like, we can't be going into a full-fledged SEO strategy, and maybe not for this site, it's small, but think of this as a bigger e-commerce site, gets 50,000 sessions a month. We can't be going to do SEO when we're already playing on the back foot. We haven't got tracking set up. We don't really know what's going on. We don't know what the big drivers of revenue are. So this is all going to be crucial here to, we can't be going in on the back foot. We don't have tracking set up. we don't know which channels are driving revenue, and we don't know what's actually working and what's not. So this is crucial before we start work, to get into a good bit of admin cleanup, should we say, like this. But really what we're doing is trying to make stuff easier for the business and for the customer. And yeah, hopefully we can work on some fixes on this. This would be my task, should we say, for the week, get some of this stuff done. And then I'm going to bring it back in a couple of weeks. We can get into some keyword data and start looking at the nitty-gritty SEO of it. So until then, hope you've enjoyed it. Go well.